race fans, and welcome to South Boston Speedway. It means more here. The fans are on their feet again as they come across the start-finish line. Green flag flying high. We're racing again at South Boston Speedway. Early November, Saturday fun. It's a beautiful fall feel in South Boston, Virginia, as we get set for the State Water Heaters Krush 250, presented by Rogers Heating and Cooling, benefiting the Ward Burton Wildlife Foundation. Hello again, racing fans. My name is Kyle Haney. My colleague tonight, the man himself, Scott Shive. Scott, what a day we have in store. What a great day to celebrate just racing in general, but the Burton family racing legacy here at South Boston Speedway. That'll be in the spotlight. We've got some great drivers in the spotlight. You're back in the spotlight now, my friend. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. I'm great. But the spotlight, not on me today. It is on our drivers. It's on the Ward Burton Wildlife Foundation. And we get the proud opportunity to be able to convey that to all of our amazing fans. Thank you for watching along with us on YouTube, Facebook, and X here at South Boston Speedway. You know the run of the order, but today it's single car qualifying and drivers still working, but they're being told to get to the line right now because we're going to start with or without them. But you mentioned the Ward Burton Wildlife Foundation, and what an honor it is to get to benefit them here today. All of the ticket sales that are being sold today, all of the sweet passes, everything is going straight towards the foundation. And did you know, Kyle, that only 5% of their funds go toward operating the foundation? 95% goes right back into the community, into the preservation of wildlife, as well as land management, everything that they do. And it's an honor for us to get to do that here today, as well as these drivers.
It really is an incredible organization. I love what you said about all the money. Not all the money. There are operating expenses. Most of the money is going back to the community and the projects that they're involved in. We do have our third member of the broadcast team ready downstairs in pit road. He's a song and dance man. Let's welcome to the broadcast, Buck Roos.
Thank you, guys. And I'm down here with Parker Eatman. He was the fastest man in town yesterday. A little bit of rain last night. Seems to have tightened the track up, though, buddy.
Yeah, I think it did for sure, but everybody at Matt Piercy Racing is giving me a good race car, so we'll get going with qualifying here in a minute and see what we have.
The balance on the car has been top-notch all weekend long so far, yesterday and today, really. So it's got to feel very positive. The good runs that you had going even at Martinsville, jumping in this car, you know, and now coming here and being a top-notch car, it shows what Matt and his team do for you, too.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of momentum coming into South Boston, so we just got to do our jobs and capitalize, and we'll come out on top, I know.
There you go, Parker Eatman, ready to go and take on this racetrack.
You know, you talk about Parker Eatman, and you just got to talk to him right there. Thank you, Buck. And, you know, he talks about momentum here at South Boston Speedway. And just 6 weeks ago here in the Cars Tour event here at South Boston, he was fighting for the win after Minnie Tyrell and Tristan McKee took each other out and put themselves towards the rear. He was one of the fastest cars when he actually got involved in an incident and went skyward on this front stretch inside wall. He ended up being okay. He's here today, and he's been fast. But big note, when he was running then, he was running with Hettinger Racing, but now he has made the move to Matt Piercy Racing.
That is a good note there. I go back to what Parker Eatman did in our Thunder Road Harley-Davidson 200 this year. Started 28th and finished P3. I mean, really just worked his way through the field in that long race. And I'm going to reference the 200 quite a bit today, Scott, because it is one of the times that we run a longer race. Yes, our late model stuff, 75, 100 laps, I think there's some value in looking at those results. But when we go beyond that to longer races, 200 laps or 250 today, that's when we might learn about a driver like a Parker Eatman that could climb his way through the field. You and I talk about track position so paramount at South Boston Speedway. You want to be in front. You want the clean air. Keep the madness behind you. Run your line. But again, this is a race where today, don't you think, you could see somebody start maybe in the back of the field, maybe mid-pack, and have a legitimate chance to win the race? Who are some other names that you could see maybe doing something like that, coming from midfield or further back to challenge for a win in the Krush 250?
Yeah, it's very possible. First person I'm gonna put up for you is Deke McCaskill. This week running with the Millington team in that famous number 15 that they always run, the black with the yellow chassis. He actually got the call this week to come and run that car. And, you know, it's a brand new team, a brand new car for him. He's never run before. And yesterday he was 17th fastest, which he said for this new team and new car, he said he felt really good about it because, again, it was all brand new to him. But we know Deke McCaskill. He's 48 years old. And he said to me yesterday, he said, you know, when you're this old and you have 2 down years like I've had, you start to question if you still have it. But he said he feels like he's still got a lot of good stuff left in him, and he could be showing that here today because he's run well here at South Boston.
I think Deke McCaskill has that in him as well. I think Buck Roos is downstairs with more information from another great driver.
Yes, sir. Down here with Caden Honeycutt, and we've seen him up front every time he comes here right now. And this Toyota Camry is no different today, leading the practice this morning already.
Yeah, definitely a hectic practice for sure, having to wait and do what we were trying to do, get our plane together. But everyone on our crew did a great job today. Looking forward to going into the race today, man. I've always a long race kind of guy, and 250 laps today will definitely be a really fun race. Just want to thank Winsight Development, RNS Race Cars, Scott Heaton in there, Fayetteville in there, everyone that worked so hard on this race car. I appreciate everyone. So yeah, I had a good car today. Going to be a long 250 laps. So I think if we had started 30th or started first, we still have a good chance to win it today, and we'll give it everything we got.
That's right. We saw him in the Final Four for the Craftsman Truck Series just last week. He's looking to try to get win number 2 and race number 2 in the existence of the Krush races.
Yeah, Caden Honeycutt, the defending champion in this race, and he gave me a little confirmation bias there by agreeing, hey, you could start 30th, you could start first. Anybody can win the race from any position. He certainly has long race success here at South Boston Speedway with that win in the Cars Tour event back in September. Real quick, put the bow on the box for Deke McCaskill. He's got 4 long race wins at South Boston Speedway. That's the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson 200 in 08 and 10, and he's won 2 Cars Tour races here that were, I believe, 150 laps those days. So Deke McCaskill, long race guy. Caden Honeycutt, well, he just said he's a long race guy. I imagine running those truck races certainly has to help. We've got some other drivers that are used to running long races. One of them with the last name Burton, Jeb Burton. The dog is in the house. He has to be considered a major force in this race today.
He absolutely
As we get the
is.
fist bump from Dad
We
Ward.
do.
But he's not going to put the headset on. Or is he going to put the headset on? Yes,
Oh,
sir.
yes, he is.
Ladies and gentlemen, we introduce a man really who has such a big hand in making this race possible. 5-time Cup winner, Daytona 500 champion in 02, Mr. Ward Burton. Ward, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for popping the headset on.
Well, thank y'all for all you're doing. Really happy, and it's been just amazing what South Boston Speedway has done to put this show on, and their staff, starting with Nick Mattioli and Brandon. Jeff, I mean, they just have gone over the top for us, and my staff for our foundation worked really hard. This is my son Jeff's brainchild, and here we are. And thanks to having some awesome sponsors like State Water Heaters and Rogers Heating Cooling, to name 2, to put on such a great purse for these awesome late model stockers.
Ward, what does it mean to you to be back at South Boston with this race? Obviously, a huge family history, and now coming up next year with the 30th anniversary of the Ward Burton Wildlife Foundation. What does it mean to be back home?
Well, it's no place like home. South Boston Speedway has launched a lot of people's careers, and it's launching some right here today, and in the future with some of these late model stock car drivers. So it's no place like home to give back to the community, and thanks for everybody that's supporting our conservation effort.
Well, we know you're busy and you want to go watch qualifying, and we want to watch the qualifying as well. But before we let you go, what's Jeb got to do to get a win in this race today? Any advice from you?
Keep your nose clean first. That's what all of them have to do. It's a long race. There's going to be a lot of strategy. Hopefully everybody will take care of their equipment and drive each other the way everybody wants to be driven, and have a good, clean race.
Fabulous. Ward Burton, thank you so much for joining us. He is busy, folks. He might be the busiest man on site today, as we'll get a little quick photo opportunity with Ward Burton. Thank you for your hard work, Ward. Thanks for having us and everything your foundation does. He's a race fan, too, though. He wants to enjoy this race, and we want you to enjoy it as well. On track right now, the number 73 of Jimmy Mullins, the first car to take time. Mr. Excitement himself, 64 years old, from Bassett, Virginia.
He's our oldest man in the field, and he's
that means he's got the most experience.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. In that number 73, puts down a 15.859. So a little off the pace, but not bad for the 64-year-old in number 73. Now we've got young Blaine Donahue, only 20 years old, and it's actually his first start in late model since 2023, and his first time here at South Boston, and he's been trying to figure it out. This is a Camden Gully-owned car. They run largely at Orange County, but he got the opportunity here to run this race here in the State Water Heaters Krush 250, and he's done some ARCA starts this year, and so he's been behind the wheel a good bit here in 2025, but it's his first time here at South Boston, and he wants to see how he stacks up against the rest of this field.
Yeah, Blaine's father was a crew member for Hendrick Motorsports and those outstanding Jeff Gordon teams. So the knowledge is going to be there, and that's one of the great things we love about racing. We go from Jimmy Mullins, mid-60s, to drivers that are in their teens and their 20s. It's fantastic. Here comes one of our fan favorites, Jessica Can, on track right now.
She's a part of the South Boston family.
She is a part of this close-knit family here at South Boston Speedway. And she said all her friends call me Jessie. She said, "Oh, my friends call me Jesse." So I said, "Hey, we're family."
I was going to say, I'd love to be a part of that crew.
Oh, no, you are. You are. We all are here at South Boston Speedway. Decent numbers there for Jessica Can. Not sure if they're getting on the screen, Scott, so we should try to make a point to give those qualifying numbers as best we can.
That was a 15.79 for Jessica Can. Up next, it's the 01 of Jared Dawson, making his first late model start of 2025. He's actually previously made a late model stock car start here at South Boston, so it's his second overall, first in 2025. This was the car he ran all year long in our Budweiser Limited Sportsman division, and he's been really trying to figure out the difference between those two cars and really how to run it properly. And we'll get to talk about that more when it comes to the race, because we've got quite a couple competitors that have been running in the Limited Sportsman division this year. It was a 15.798 for Dawson, so just 5 1/1000 slower than Jessica Can. Currently Can at the top of the board. But up next, it's another one of those Limited Sportsman competitors, Tristan Brunelli.
Took the words out of my mouth. The 18 of Tristan Brunelli on track. He was a race winner in our Limited Sportsman division this year at South Boston Speedway. Tristan Brunelli was the 2025 Limited Sportsman Rookie of the Year. He was only outside the top 10 two times. Really bright future for this teenager from Powhatan, Virginia. Best lap time looks to be 15.562.
2/10 jump over Jessica Can, so that's a decent time for the youngster. Only 15 years old, and this is truly his first ever late model stock start. This was the car they run all year as well, but pretty good for the youngster. Now Trey Williams, the number 3, who was our only car to have problems yesterday in practice, actually hit the wall out of turn 4, avoiding a slower car, broke the track bar mount and bent the toe in. Team was able to go to work, get it fixed, and Trey said he felt good, a little loose there off of turn 4 for his first lap, but he'll still go to the top of the board. It's 15.428. Just a 1/10.5 faster than Brunelli. Trey Williams, one of our regulars here at South Boston Speedway this year, had a pretty decent year, finishing 9th overall in the points in our Centera Health late model division.
He's got some big race experience as well. He's made 3 Hampton Heat starts. He's made 1 start in the Thunder Road Harley Davidson. Trey Williams now at the top of the charts early. Here comes one of our 77s in the field. This time it's the Superman, Blake Stallings. Blake Stallings has been very busy the last couple weeks, but they made sure they got the car ready. Blake Stallings a week ago, a big race win at Ace Speedway. He's looking to piggyback that and continue the good vibes here in the Krush 250.
Blake's talked about how hard it's been this year in 2025, obviously not winning this year at South Boston Speedway, but he did win the big Ace race 1 week ago, so he's got a little bit of momentum here in that pink number 77 that they normally run at Ace. Another driver that doesn't get to join us as much, it's Kyle Barnes in the 00. Got a couple starts this year, just won in one of our final races where he finished top 10. It was a 9th place finish for the 00, who is actually actually our 2022 Budweiser Limited Sportsman champion. 10 wins that season.
Kyle Barnes can go to a track and dominate, or he can bounce around to different tracks. He and I were talking yesterday. He's run 7 different tracks this season. I think it's 5 asphalt and 2 dirt for Kyle Barnes. And he was actually having a hard time remembering all the tracks that he's got victories at. Not out of cockiness or anything. He just goes to so many different places. He said, I just find that really enjoyable, trying different racetracks. And he seems to always be quick every time he shows up as well. Kyle Barnes with a 15.512 right now. That is not faster than Stallings and Williams. Let's see if he improves a bit as we get to see our next car on track, the 31, Andrew Patterson.
You know, we'll get to talk about his story a little bit more later, but started his own late model team in 2023 and started his own ARCA Menards team this year as well. Got an opportunity with Nitro Motorsports where he finished in the top 10 in the ARCA Menards series, but right now here he goes 3rd fastest with a 15.449, so right in the middle of Kyle Barnes and Trey Williams. Now it is one of the veterans, the 17, Stacy Puryear. Well, you know him very well here at South Boston Speedway. We know a lot about him.
Stacy Puryear's got a great connection to the Burton family as well. He and Ward and Jeff kind of all started out in Sam Ard's shop back in the 80s, and Stacy Puryear is just a real legend in short track racing everywhere, but especially here at South Boston Speedway. 9 wins all time in the late model division here. And Stacy Puryear picked up a big race win a couple years ago at Carteret. He got a $10,000 win back in 2022 for Stacy Puryear. That was at age 51. So you can do the math, mid-50s, but Stacy Puryear still very competitive.
Still very competitive. Another driver very competitive that we got to talk about a little bit in our pre-qualifying. Deke McCaskill, 48 years old, from Raleigh, North Carolina. And again, we mentioned driving this car for the first time ever. And so he's going to see how he can do, but obviously well tenured here at South Boston Speedway, a 2-time Thunder Road Harley-Davidson 200 champion. But again, that was in his regular 08 car. This is all brand new to him, and no matter what, it's a 3rd fastest as of now with a 15.38.
Blake Stallings' time of 15.303, still holding steady at the top, with Trey Williams currently 2nd quick, but Deke McCaskill will assume that 3rd position. Here comes a driver that we are learning more and more about, spent more time with us here at South Boston Speedway. The number 1, Andrew Grady. Sounded like you had some really good conversations with Andrew yesterday and today. He likes his chances in the Krush 250.
Yeah, Grady really feels confident about this number 1 machine. Felt good. Felt he really improved this year at South Boston Speedway in his couple of starts. Finished 3rd here, actually, in his last start of the season on Championship Sunday. And so really felt he was able to transfer that over here into this race. But obviously, much longer here at the Krush 250. And another driver that has made a couple of starts here at South Boston Speedway over 2025 is this 14 of Mason Bailey.
Mason Bailey is a fun driver. He actually ran full-time with us back in 2022. He was a Southside track champion back in 2016. And that tells you a little bit. Mason Bailey is 27 now. So the fact that he's been doing this for almost 10 years, he's logged a lot of seat time. He could really be thrown in that veteran category right now. Mason Bailey, fun driver to watch. It's still Blake Stallings at the top, though. With that 15.303, Mason Bailey does move up to 3rd, though, 15.355.
In front of you now, the 7 of Dylan Ward, 32 years old, from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. He races quite a lot at Bowman Gray here in 2025. He was 7th overall in points in the Sportsman division with 2 wins, 7 top 5s, and 15 top 10s with an average finish of 8.5. But obviously the Madhouse, quite different from the track here at South Boston Speedway. But it is top of the boards for Dylan Ward, 15.246. Dylan Ward to the top in the 7.
Dylan Ward, a member of another great racing family. His dad, Dean, won 8 times here. His brother, Trevor, won 5 times this season. More on Dylan Ward is in just a bit as we see another wily veteran. It's Mark Wirtz in the 55. Mark Wirtz was talking to me yesterday about how typically in the past, fast. The late model race season kind of ended in September. Now you're seeing more and more of these big races in November and even some in December. And he said it's almost kind of been like this is the prime time now instead of midsummer. Mark Wirtz said he was thrilled to be out here in the prime time chasing a big $12,000 cash prize.
Up next, it's the 44, Brian Blevins, who, as we talked about earlier, has quite a history. Started racing late models in 2000. He was the 2004 limited late model champion at Lonesome Pine, as well as a 2011 late model stock champion. But he stopped racing late model stocks in 2015, and he said to me he has not been in one since. He really wanted to see how he stacked up against the competition here in the Orange Krush 250, and it is second atop the charts, 15.29 for Brian Blevins in the 44. That's pretty good for someone who hasn't been in the seat in over a decade.
Yeah, single car qualifying. I wonder if that eases the nerves or maybe makes it worse for Brian Blevins, but he accounted for himself well. Second quick. Here's a young driver that has really been turning heads, the number 92, Lane Woods. He got a big $3,000 win at Franklin County in September, and he's a limited sportsman winner this season at South Boston Speedway.
He is. He won as well in October for his first late model stock car start, and he said it gave him great confidence, really, in just knowing that he can go out and run that car. It is top of the boards for Lane Woods, so times continue to improve for each driver. We're up now into 11th spot from practice here with Bobby McCarty, but it was 15.241 for Woods. Now, here's Bobby McCarty in the famous number 6, running with Hedgecock here this weekend. And it's not too fast. Well, it's fairly fast, actually, for the first lap. We'll see how he could do in a second. It was a 15.249, so just 3/1,000 slower than Dylan Ward. McCarty finished third last year in the Krush 200, but he goes top of the boards here in qualifying for the State Water Heaters Krush 250. It is a 15-2 even.
Bobby Mack on the attack, always qualifies well. He has a healthy resume here at South Boston Speedway, which we will be discussing more as the race goes on and during our pre-race events. Here's another legend in the 87, the man from down the mountain, Catawba, Virginia. Mike Looney is back in the house, and we are so thrilled to have him. Took most of the summer off after he had a couple rough rides in a row, and it was a lot of repairs. The Billy Martin race team had some health issues going on, so Mike Looney stepped away. There's a fantastic article from Joe Chandler on our South Boston Speedway website. Read more about Mike Looney. He'll get into fourth there. Looney moving up to fourth on the scoring pylon, left side of your screen. All that info looks accurate to us.
Here's another, a young driver. We've got many of them in the field. It's young Darren Krantz Jr., DKJ in the 77, with a little bit of a new paint scheme that he designed himself. He's been bouncing across the boards, but he said he really had to kind of dial back in here to the track at South Boston Speedway because he did win in our late model stock car division earlier in August, our third to last race of the season, and he was fighting for an earlier one back in May, but he did eventually get his win. It's 8th on the boards, only 8th fastest for the 77 of 15.334.
DKJ, runner-up also in the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson 200. So he has some big race experience here at South Boston Speedway. The next number 7 on track. We've got 3 number 7s in the event here, and I believe that is the number 7 of Aiden King. Yes, holding court from Mooresville, North Carolina, 14 years old. He was the Hickory Limited Late Model champion this year with 3 victories. Aiden King, I believe, making a South Boston Speedway debut in any kind of a race.
He is, let's see where he is, stacks up 7th for him, a 15.31 for the number 7 machine. It is the 8 of Thomas Scott up next here. Been a little slow this weekend, but Thomas Scott this year here at South Boston Speedway has had a fairly good run. He's been running with us. He was 16th in points after 6 starts, and 5 of those being top 10s with his best finish of 6th place. But on the boards for the number 8 machine, first lap, it's a 15.538. That's 16th currently among all 25 cars that have gone here in qualifying. Thomas Scott on his second lap, he can improve. He improves by quite a margin up to 5th, a 15.286. Now that's what we like to see out of Thomas Scott, one of our fan favorites.
Yeah, he's a do-it-yourselfer. I think that really endears himself to a lot of the fans. Pretty much does everything himself. He was third in our point standings in back-to-back years. That came in 2017 and 2018. Next car on track is another fan favorite here at South Boston Speedway. It's Jacob Borst. 6 wins to his credit. He has won every single season he has run a late model car here. And he's also got 3 limited sportsman wins at South Boston Speedway. Jacob Borst, another team that has now become a do-it-yourself family team. They're trying to do all their own geometry, everything in-house, and it's working so far as Jacob Borst now has the new quick time at the moment.
First driver into the 1/10th mark on the 15-second bracket. Now it's the 27 of Jeb Burton. We got to talk to Ward, his father, earlier, and he said he needed to keep it clean all day long and stay in the fight. First lap for the 27 is 13th with a 15.379. Jeb said he feels like this car is definitely a top 5 car, but you know he doesn't run it all year long. He's an Xfinity Series regular with Jordan Anderson Racing. He doesn't get to start the late model too much, but for not getting started, top of the boards for Jeb Burton in the 27, a 15.125, just 8 1/1000ths faster than Jacob Borst. For not having run it too much, Kyle, I'd say he's pretty fast.
Yeah, the nickname is the dog. He might be off the leash today. Finished 4th in a late model race last August here at South Boston Speedway. And Jeb said he's not taking this for granted just because he's full-time Xfinity. This is not just a parade lap and let me show up and smile and sign some autographs. Jeb Burton wants to win this thing. Here comes a talented young driver, Laney Bice, the 2023 Wendell Scott Trailblazer Award winner. We love Wendell Scott. That's the guy that used to race at South Boston back in the day. And Bice with a time that would put her in row number 3 right now, 6th fastest for the 03.
She was so honored to win that award. We'll get to talk more about it when it comes to race time at 2:30 Eastern on Racing America. If you got time to get to the track, get to the track. But if you got time, if you don't, get on Racing America. Come watch. Now it's the 4 of Parker Eatman, one of the men that we've been talking about all day long because he has been quick. Fastest in practice yesterday. Only car to break into the O's in the 15-second bracket. What can he do on this next lap? It's only 3rd fastest with a 15.167. And he was fastest in practice this morning, so a little bit of slowdown from yesterday for the number 4.
I like Parker Eatman, though, in this race and in general. Actually, our 2022 late model rookie of the year here at South Boston Speedway. Hasn't done a ton of late model racing with us in the past few years, but he knows this track. He does know this track. And now we get to see the 88 of Doug Barnes Jr. Air Doug trying to take flight on the 2nd Saturday of November.
4th quickest on the first lap. How can he do on the second? Can he take pole? No, it's slower on the second lap. Only 4th quickest for the 88. Now it's the man who was fastest in this morning's practice. He was the winner last year at Orange County in the Krush 200. He's the winner here from the Cars Tour race at South Boston. He is on a roll right now after a 3rd place overall finish in the Craftsman Truck Series, making it to the Championship 4. There is no more momentum in this house right now at South Boston Speedway than with this 17 Tom Usry racing machine. First lap on the boards, a little bit slower for the number 17, probably warming up for this 2nd lap through 3 and 4. Can he take pole, or will it be the 27 of Jeb Burton to the line for the 17? It's only 3rd quickest, and that will unofficially put Jeb Burton on the pole for the State Water Heaters Krush 250 presented by Rogers Heating and Cooling.
$1,200 extra for our poll winner, brought to you by Who's Your Driver, who'syourdriver.org. If you're at the track, you can see the big billboard there in turn 3, and it looks like Jeb Burton taking home a little extra cash. It's officially a Burton Sellers Racing entry this weekend, but again, his dad's name is on the event. This benefits the Ward Burton Wildlife Foundation, so you know it means a lot to Jeb to be successful, and he's off to a great start. How about Jacob Borst starting on the front row as well? And Caden Honeycutt will be P3 rolling off with Parker Eatman beside him, Doug Barnes Jr. and Bobby McCarty in row 3, and just throughout the field. So much great talent, so many drivers that can win. It sounds like Buck is getting in place to maybe have a chat with Jeb Burton. Take it away, Buck.
Yeah, he's still strapped in the car down here, getting ready to roll into tech, so we'll let them push the car forward. But Jeb immediately wanted to fist. He is definitely pumped up down here at the tech shed right now, so everything will work where we can get a quick word with him here. There we go. We're cutting in and out in the tech shed, guys, so I'll hopefully be able to get a word with him. They have to go through tech first.
We'll get him through tech, make sure it becomes official for the 27 of Jeb Burton, our pole sitter, again, unofficially at the moment. So we'll make sure we get a word with him. But you mentioned it, good improvements by some of these drivers, and I really look at Lee Pulliam performance, top 10 for both Doug Barnes Jr. and Laney Bison. You said yesterday we're fairly well out of the top 15.
Yeah, and I think with Lee Pulliam performance, you understand that he is also going to find ways to make these cars better as the race goes on. They will get some time to work on the cars here. Final work session is officially from 11:30 until noon. So you can tweak a few things, and then you can also anticipate how your ride might change as this race goes on. And it is a long race. Sunny day, not particularly hot. But weather conditions could be an issue. It sounded like most of our drivers, setup-wise, were not that far away from their normal summertime setup. Scott, didn't you hear that from some drivers? It's some tweaks, but it's basically what we were running for most of the summer.
It was much warmer here today. Overnight, really only gotten down into the 55-degree mark. Currently 67 on the track, so fairly cool for the track. 65 ambient temperature. But again, last night didn't get too cold. Track will have the sun on it for the next couple of hours. Not many clouds in the sky. Very dispersed, diffused lights. We will get the track heated up a little bit, and will be very similar to what we see in a regular weekly series race here, Kyle.
Yeah, some of the drivers mentioned air pressure with the tires might just be a little bit different because of the temperature there, and you got to manage those pressure buildups. But overall, not too many major changes in the setup. But obviously, some of these cars and drivers got the setup right, like Jeb Burton, Jacob Borst. They'll be on the front row. And back to this fall feel. I know you are a noted color enthusiast. We've got some great color on the trees around the racetrack. Come see us in person and enjoy the day here. The State Water Heaters Krush 250, presented by Rogers Heating and Cooling.
Yes, and we talk about this weather, and it's beautiful weather. And I love the fall. I love the leaves. It's always beautiful. It's always a good look, and it's so beautiful right here in Halifax County at South Boston Speedway. And what better than leaves than late model stock cars, 29 of them ready to go. We've got pole sitter unofficially here sitting with Buck Roos.
Yes, sir. I tell you what, Jeb Burton, you said you were struggling. You were trying to find that balance yesterday. It looks like y'all found it just in time for qualifying.
Yeah, I told HC this morning that, we were really fast here Tuesday, and we changed some things right before we left that day, and ever since then it hadn't been the same. And we got back here this morning and really thought about it and put some of those adjustments back, and we're in the game. So the last run before qualifying, I was like, man, we're in the game now. So still was a little tight there, but just really appreciate HC and Peyton. This is our car that we own together with our SBR program. We got Sally Mott here today. She's going to be running this car some, and pretty cool to put this race together and be able to lead the field. And just really appreciate all the fans coming out. It's going to be a heck of a show, and 250 laps, so long race, and looking forward to it.
That's right. Green flag drops at 2:30. So if you're watching on Facebook right now, it's time to start making your way to South Boston Speedway.
Thank you, buddy.
We are in the game, Jeb Burton said. Yeah, I do too. And can we underline it in bold font and raise the size? We are in the game. Yes, they are very much in the game. A man that has 2 Xfinity Series wins. Plate racing there. Now we're back to short track racing where the Burtons grew up. Jeb Burton with 1 late model win here at South Boston Speedway. His dad won 4 late model races, and more on the Burton legacy in a bit. But adding to that legacy question mark today, a great opportunity to do it. There's a look at your starting lineup. Jacob Borst, outstanding qualifying effort. Just can't say enough about what he has done and his team has done to get the car ready.
Seriously, we could go on and on about many of these drivers. Caden Honeycutt, obviously, with the momentum into this race, but starting from the second row, Parker Eatman, good momentum as well, moving over to Matt Piercy Racing. No finish outside of the top 4 in their 2 starts in their new partnership this year in 2025. Then Doug Barnes Jr. trying to go out with a bang with Lee Pulliam Performance. They didn't have the year they wanted to in the Cars Tour, and they got to do this race, and they're looking pretty darn good. Bobby McCarty, obviously, there's so much to say about Bobby McCarty, but he's one that could really improve throughout the race, but just outside of the top 5 here in qualifying. What about young Lane Woods?
Love that for Lane Woods. Again, his rise, we have been so fortunate to witness a lot of it up close and personal. Now, he does race at some other places, but we have really been impressed with Lane Woods, 14 years young from nearby Moneta, Virginia. He'll be rolling off beside Dylan Ward, file Dylan Ward in the Wiley veteran category and the family race team category. Row 5 is pretty fun, little juxtaposition there as well. Veteran on the right, Mike Looney, up-and-comer on the left, Laney Bice. So great about our sport. That, I think, is one of the best things about our sport. All ages, almost anyway, can compete and win, and we get so many great stories out of that. Row 6, great stories there. Brian Blevins jumping behind the wheel of a late model again after a little break. He got his first late model win at 14. He was one of these young up-and-comers at one point. So was Thomas Scott at one point.
Yes, he was. Great job for them to get in the top 12 in qualifying. On to the 7th row, it's the Superman, Blake Stallings. Again, we said it coming off a bit of a subpar year here at South Boston Speedway. He talked about the difficulty of this current late model field and just how, working 9 to 5 in the week really makes it tough, especially working with a small team with him and everybody at R&S Race Cars. But Blake Stallings is the man to do it. He's the man to fly. Young Aiden King running at Hickory and limited late models this year, winning the track championship. He did also run some at Tri-County in the late model. Didn't go how they wanted it to, but still trying to figure out this car, and he's pretty fast here in his Matt Piercy Racing entry as well. Trey Williams hit the wall yesterday, and he's had a bit of issues, but good job for him to get in the top 15. And then another one of our young guys, Darren Grants Jr.
DKJ has been working at a lot of tracks, and he has been very good at a lot of tracks. That's part of the growth of a young racer. Yeah, it's nice to own one place, but sometimes you got to step out. You got to have a road game every now and then. Mason Bailey, never bad on the road in row 9. Andrew Grady in row 9 beside, never short on confidence. How about row 10? 2 guys that are never short on gumption, Deke McCaskill and Mark Wirtz. Those are going to be 2 of our big fan favorites. Further back in row 11, it'll be Andrew Patterson beside Kyle Barnes, Tristan Brunelli, and Stacy Perrier in row 12. That's another juxtaposition there with young and veteran. And then as we look further deeper into our field, it'll be Jesse Can, Jared Dawson, and Jimmy Mullins. Blaine Donahue listed there in row 14 as well. So we may have lost Landon S. Huffman. That might be the only car that maybe because of attrition isn't going to make the start, but we'll still hold out hope that maybe Landon S. Huffman can join the field.
Yes, we will, and I was going to mention that. We can see him right off in the distance there working on his car. We'll see if they can get back in it, but we've got Buck Roos down in the pits with Bobby McCarty.
Yeah, I tell you what, Bobby Mack, everybody looked online all week long, and everybody's picking you to win this thing, and you're definitely up in there with Jay and the guys here.
Yeah. If everybody's picking me, they definitely jinx me then. So thank y'all. It's we didn't get the luxury to test like the rest of these guys, but Jay and everybody brought a really good race car. We made some good changes over the night, and I think we got something to contend with. We're definitely long race, very, very long race. So we just got to make sure we make it to the end.
There you go, Bobby Mack ready to roll off here, and he's got a hot rod under him, and he likes the way it feels.
I'd like to take a moment to read the Bobby McCarty resume. Just here at South Boston Speedway, 9 late model wins, including 2 long race wins, 2 Triple Crown wins. That was the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson 200 back in 2021 and 2023. Bobby McCarty has one Cars Tour win here at South Boston Speedway, 7 top 10s in those Cars Tour starts. And on top of that, he's got 11 limited sportsman wins here at South Boston Speedway.
And a championship.
And a championship. I think And I want to double-check this one. We can ask Bobby Mack. He may not know. I think he's won 21 total times here at South Boston Speedway throughout different divisions. 21 times he's seen that checkered flag before anybody else. That is a resume that cannot be overlooked in this kind of race.
No, it really can't. And, this year they started to build their own chassis, really branch out on their own. They've been having some struggles with that. He's running with Hedgecock this weekend, who he ran with back at Martinsville, but it didn't go how they wanted to. Finished 32nd after getting involved in some problems as well with some of the other competitors, but looking to rebound here with Hedgecock Racing and make it a little better, and they'll be starting 6th on the outside of the 3rd row.
We're talking about drivers, and we will continue that, but we also want to mention State Water Heaters, one of our proud partners with the Ward Burton Wildlife Foundation, and State has been behind Ward Burton for a long time. A lot of our race fans will remember that logo, and there is a car out front here behind the main grandstand that Ward used to race with the State Water Heaters logo. Check out their website, statewaterheaters.com, to learn more. We would also like to thank Rogers Heating, Cooling, Electrical, and Plumbing. They're going to keep you comfortable in any race season. Spring, summer, fall, winter, Rogers Heating and Cooling has you covered. They want to say good luck to everyone on the track today at South Boston Speedway. We will keep it here and continue to banter for our fans and the social media audience. Dealer's choice, Scott. What do you want to start to wrap this little first session for us up with as far as our talking points? Because there's no shortage. We're never going to get to everything. I mean, that's the thing. When you have 30 great drivers, something's inevitably going to get left out. But what else is standing out to you early here this Saturday?
I'm going to stick with the top 10, and I'm going to go to the 10th position. 87 of Mike Looney. And we'll get to talk about this more in the race, of course. But, earlier this year was running full-time with us, and end of May, had a little bit of a scuffle with Jacob Borst right here on the front straightaway, got turned into the outside of the turn one wall, and he told me pretty much that the only thing left out of that car that they were able to use that they have now was the steering column, seat, and the pedals. And that car was fairly destroyed, and it really kind of not wrecked his confidence, but kind of wrecked his faith in late model stock racing. He's towards the end of his career. There's more years in his past rather than towards his future when it comes to late model stock competition. And he said, the thing about it is you never know when it's going to be your last one. You never know whether that be a win, whether it be a start, whether it be truly anything. And over time, he was able to kind of take that break over the summer and kind of rebuild his faith, get along with the great outdoors, which is what we're benefiting here today with Ward Burton Wildlife Foundation. He was one that got back in the great outdoors, which is one of the things that the Ward Burton Wildlife Foundation supports, getting veterans and young kids back in the outdoors with all their facilities and everything that they do. And Mike Looney was one that found that on his own and really brought his faith back. And he ran at Martinsville, got wrecked early, but still loved to be there, loved to run, and is excited to run this race. And he's looking good with a top 10 starting position.
He is. I saw what you did there with the Ward Burton Wildlife Foundation. Folks, you can see more about what they are all about by visiting twbwf.org, twbwf.org. They're involved in this race today. They've also got a fun thing coming up at Richmond Raceway in January. It's just hosted by Richmond Raceway, but it's actually the Virginia Department of Wildlife Resources Archery Open. So not only is the Ward Burton Wildlife Foundation plugged into the racing scene, they're plugged into the archery scene as well. That is very, very cool. And I love everything you said about Mike Looney. You and I were joking around. Stats are great. We love to give stats. You got to give some of those. But we love a good quote. Mike Looney is a quote machine.
He is. He's always pumping those out. I got at least 3 from him yesterday.
Yeah.
I made sure to write those down and get those in the book so that we could share them with all of our fans, because we talk about fan favorites. Mike Looney, one of the absolute fan favorites.
He sure is. Let's continue with that wildlife theme and a bit more about the Ward Burton Wildlife Foundation. You mentioned it a little bit, but they're coming up on a 30-year anniversary. There's a great story in preparing for this race. I had to go back and watch Ward's Daytona 500 win, right, in 2002. I had to do that selfishly. But they talk about in the race there how he did not get behind the seat at all in the offseason from 2001 to early 02 because he was out raising money and raising awareness for the Ward Burton Wildlife Foundation. And it just worked out. I mean, obviously, with his skills, you don't need too much practice, but no rust at all when he won that Daytona 500. A little bit more on Ward's Cup career, if I may. 5-time Cup winner, 82 top 10s. 82 top 10s in almost 400 starts. I mean, Ward Burton, just a fantastic driver and even better human being. He started that Ward Burton Wildlife Foundation really when he was in the thick of his career. When you don't have a ton of time, he said, I want to make time for this cause that I am so passionate about.
Yeah, founded in 1996. And, I think about it as well, just having read up about it and really getting involved with myself in learning about the foundation. They have shown that in the racing world, running in these Cup careers and Xfinity careers like Jeb Burton is currently in, it's a lot of weeks on the road. It's a lot of time away from family. And I think that's one of the things that drivers and race teams really can struggle with is having that family time. One of the most important things here in this world. And the Burtons really have shown that there's a proven way. And, they get to do the podcast, Jeb and Ward, and it's great and fun to watch. They get to talk about racing as well as the foundation itself. They're always out in the deer stand. Jeb said it himself. If you aren't here, you better at least be in the deer stand because that's the only other place you're allowed to be if you're not at the State Water Heaters Crush 250. But they're always together, and they're always together with family and proving that they can do it.
And we'll get more of the family involved as well with Jeff Burton in the house and close family friend Michael Waltrip in the house as well. 2-time Daytona 500 winner Michael Waltrip. Okay, it's about time to wrap up this social media broadcast. We really thank you for checking it out, and we encourage you to get out to the racetrack or watch the race on Racing America. We are at South Boston Speedway getting set for the State Water Heaters Crush 250 presented by Rogers Heating and Cooling, benefiting the Ward Burton Wildlife Foundation.
At the Ward Burton Wildlife Foundation, our mission is to protect and sustain the natural resources that make this country special. We've conserved over 55,000 acres, created habitat for native wildlife, and opened our lands to share the beauty of the outdoors with others. From youth programs to honoring our military heroes, we're inspiring the next generation of conservation stewards. Learn more at twbwf.org.
Life is full of starts and stops. That's why at Rogers Heating and Cooling, we like to keep things moving. Could be a weak air conditioning unit in need of a tune-up, or a clog in your plumbing. Could be a furnace on the outs, or a generator for when the lights go out. Whatever it is, Rogers has a solution for you. And with unbeatable customer service and a variety of financing options, there's no better choice out there to keep your house moving. Rogers Heating and Cooling, the name you know, the service you trust.
The My Race Pass app is your motorsports headquarters on race night. With over 800 organizations across multiple forms of motorsports, you'll always have the information you need in the palm of your hand. Race day information with official entries, lineups, live timing and drag racing timing slips, official results, point standings, announcer audio, fantasy racing, and so much more. Don't be left in the dark on race night. Download the My Race Pass app today in Google Play and the App Store. My Race Pass, the ultimate racing resource.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
I'm Jeb Burton, and you're watching Racing America.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of Racing America. We hope you enjoy today's broadcast.